I would like to formally welcome you all to Chippenham's Town Council's Planning, Environment and Transport Committee meeting. Please may I remind you that this is a public meeting. It is being streamed to YouTube and will be available there in the public domain for a period of 6 months. Can I remind all councillors to use their microphones when speaking and to raise their hand clearly and keep it raised when voting. Please ensure you are respectful of others in attendance at this meeting. And so we go to question time. We have received no written questions in advance of this meeting. Please can officers confirm there are any members of the public present who indicated they wanted to speak?
There are none, Chair.
Thank you. So we go straight on to agenda 1. Item 1, apologies for absence. Please can the officers confirm if we have received any apologies for absence?
Yes, Chair. We have received apologies from Councillor Claire Cape due to work commitments, Councillor Catherine McDermott due to family commitments, and Councillor David Poole due to caring commitments.
Thank you. Any notification of substitution? Can you confirm if there's any notifications, please?
Yes, Chair. Councillor Bettina Nonhoff is substituting for Councillor Claire Cape.
Thank you. Okay, so now we go on to item 3, which is declaration of interests. All members of the Town Council are reminded to declare any pecuniary or non-pecuniary interests they may have in the business of the Council, its committees or subcommittees in accordance with the latest approved Code of Conduct. Councillors are reminded to declare any dispensation granted in relation to any relevant matters. Are there any declarations of interest? Councillor Murray?
Yeah, I chair the Chippenham Cycle Network Development Group. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? No? Okay. So we go on to item 4, which is the minutes, to receive the draft minutes of the Planning, Environment and Transport Committee held on the 28th of May 2026. Copy attached. Minutes require a proposer and a seconder for approval. So are there any comments to be made in relation to the accuracy of the minutes? No? Okay. Do we have a proposer? Councillor Stracke, and a seconder, Councillor Rutledge. Thank you. So I move to the votes. Please can I have all those councillors in favour of the minutes? Thank you. Against? Abstainer? Thank you. Okay, now next we go on to item 5, which is Chair's announcements. I have one chair announcement for you today. It is, Wiltshire Council have recently confirmed an updated 5-year housing land supply figure. It now stands at 2.8 years housing land supply. Therefore, the tilted balance will remain applicable in the determination of planning applications for residential schemes in Wiltshire for the foreseeable future. Okay, so the next one is item 6, and these are open for discussion. So we go on to planning applications, and they should be on the pages of 25 to 32 in your pack. So we go to our first planning application, which is PL 2026-03182, and that's for householder planning permission. And we have officers' comments before the ward councillor.
Thank you, Chair. This is 1 Carrick Close, and the brief comment is no objection, subject to the gable wall of the house remaining in brickwork, as render is not consistent with the local vernacular, and this change would have a detrimental impact on the street scene. Thank you.
Okay, and we go to councillor Murray.
I've not received any other comments from anybody, and there don't seem to be any on the website, so I concur with our officer's advice.
Thank you. Any other comments? No? Okay, so we're going to go with a no objection. Okay, hands raised if you agree with that. Thank you. Okay, so the next one is PL 2026-03314, and that's for householder planning permission in Park Avenue. I don't see any officers' comments for this, so we will go to councillor Baisley and myself. Councillor Baisley, would you like to go first?
No comment, Chair.
Okay, thank you. And I haven't seen anything as well, so no objection. We all happy with no objection? Yeah, okay. And the next one is PL 2026-303134. And this is for householder planning permission, 10 Beechwood Road. And again, that is Sheldon. And let's, I'll go first then, councillor Baisley, you can go after me. I have seen no comments or nothing on this one, so I'll go with the no objection. Councillor Baisley.
Yeah, also no objection.
Thank you. So any other comments, or we'll have to go with the no objection? Nice one. Next one is PL 2026-03137. And that is full planning permission in 18 Chanwood Close. Again, this is Sheldon Ward, and councillor Baisley then.
Again, no objection.
Thank you. And I don't see anything, so no objection from me. Any other comments? Are we happy to go with no objection? Yeah, okay, nice one. Okay, so no objection. Okay, so the next one is PL 2026-03320. This is householder planning permission in 28 Kingham Close, and that is Loudon and Rowden. We don't see have any other comments, so let's go to councillor Strag first.
I recommend no objection.
Thank you. Any other comments? No? Okay. We all happy with no objection? Okay. And the next one is PL 2026-03059 and PL 2026-03601. This is for full planning permission and listed building consent in Loudon and Rowden. And again, this is in 54 Marshfield Road. And so we will go to councillor Strag for this one again.
Thank you. I recommend no objection, subject to the Conservation Officer's views at the Wiltshire Council.
Okay, are we happy? Any other comments? We happy to go with no objection? Yep, okay, lovely, no objection. Okay, next one is PL 2026-02922. This is full planning permission for Ivy Road Industrial Estate. And this is Loudon and Rowden, but before we go to the ward councillor, we will go for the officer's comments.
Thank you, Chair. So the MPPF at paragraph 87 states that planning decisions should recognise and address the specific locational requirements of different sectors. This includes, amongst other things, making provision for the expansion or modernisation of other industries of local, regional or national importance to support economic growth and resilience. The proposal involves a local business looking to expand on their existing brownfield site, and this is a benefit which should be recognised in the planning balance. It would be useful to understand whether the applicant intends to remain operating out of their existing premises and or whether the proposal would result in the vacating of or removal of any other buildings or porta cabins on the industrial estate. The application site is located within Chippenham Conservation Area and immediately adjacent to the Grade 2 listed 5 and 6 Ivy cottages, and is therefore a sensitive site in terms of heritage implications. Neighbourhood Plan Policy TC4 states that development proposals should preserve or enhance the special character or appearance of the conservation area, be of a high quality design that makes a positive contribution to local character and distinctiveness, and eliminate or reduce negative views identified in the character appraisal. By virtue of the scale and massing of the proposed building and choice of materials, the proposed building would unlikely make a positive contribution to local character and distinctiveness, and would likely appear as a dominant feature that could further exacerbate the negative view identified in the character area appraisal. In addition, there is no assessment on how the proposal would affect the setting of the adjacent listed buildings at numbers 5 and 6 Ivy cottages. The siting of the proposed building at a height of approximately 7.4 metres immediately adjacent to number 5 Ivy cottages would likely affect outlook and light to the dwelling, adversely affecting the amenity of these occupiers. It would also be useful to understand more about the noise implications of the proposal, if any, given the close proximity to existing residents. The application form states that there will be an increase of parking on the site by 2 spaces, but this would need to be shown on a site plan. Ecological enhancements are set out in the Planning, Design and Access and Biodiversity Statement, and if further details can be secured by condition, the proposal would comply with Neighbourhood Plan Policy GI1. So to summarise, the proposed expansion of a local business on a brownfield site is supported in principle. However, the proposed building, by virtue of its siting, scale and materials, would likely result in harm to the significance of Chippenham Conservation Area and the setting of the listed buildings, contrary to CP 57 and 58 of the core strategy, Neighbourhood Plan Policy TC4, Chippenham Conservation Area Character Appraisal and the MPPF. It would also likely affect the immunity of the occupiers of number 5 Ivy Cottage through loss of light and outlook. It is possible that a redesign may result in the level of harm being reduced, sufficient for it to be overcome in the planning balance. But at the moment, the recommendation would be to object. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's go to Councillor Stragg first.
I agree entirely with what the planning officer has said, but I also feel that the current buildings that they occupy are of some historic value, and there's quite a view from the Bridge Centre roundabout of them, with that chimney and so on, and maybe it's former laundry. I'm not sure, but I'd really like to see more of what is proposed in pictorial or artist impression view, to see what the overall view would be from the Bridge Centre roundabout and outside, as well as being concerned about the effect on the neighbouring buildings. So I would certainly recommend the objection to this.
Thank you. Any other comments? Oh, Councillor Cousins.
Thank you. Yeah, I completely agree with everything which is said up to this point from Councillor Scragg and from our planning officer. like to add as well with these applications that I don't know if it's appropriate at this time, but I'd like to add it in, that when development does go ahead, that cycle parking for staff, visitors, showers, lockers, changing facilities, we'd expect those all to be provided within the development in line with the local and national policy guidelines, which we always refer to. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? No? Okay, so are we all going for object? Put your hands up if you're objecting. Fabulous, thank you. Okay, so we go on to the next one, which is PL 2026-03240 and PL 2026-03550. This is Loudon and Rowding with full planning permission, and that is okay, listed building consent. So we go to Councillor Stragg first.
I note the planning officer hasn't made any comments either for or against, and I imagine this is a fairly limited alteration to the building, so I wouldn't. I would recommend no objection.
Thank you. Anybody else? No. Are we happy with no objection? Put your hands up if you're happy with no objection. Thank you. Yes. Okay, and so we go to the next one, which is PL 2026-033. Sorry, 03334. Okay, and that is for full planning permission in the north wing of the first floor, Brincanton PLC, and that is in Seapen Park and Hunter's Moon. And so we will go to Councillors Bragg and Massey for this one.
I have looked at the site, so it's a small addition. It seems well shielded, so no objection from me.
Councillor Massey?
No objections from me, everything.
Thank you. No object. Councillor Puntis?
Point of note, it's Keppen Park, not Seapen Park.
So are we going for no objection? Okay, fabulous. Okay, and then we go on to PL 2026-03418. And this is for full planning permission in the Scout Hall in Derreds Lane, Chippenham. And that is Capon Park and Derreds. Should I complain? Okay, and so we're going, this is for an access ramp platform, railings for wheelchair user access. So we go to Councillor Puntis.
Yes, you're correct. It's in Keppen Park, yes. No objection. Thank you.
Anybody else? Councillor Cousins.
Yeah, I've looked through these plans, and maybe I'm sort of misreading things, but looking at where the gate currently is and the space which is there, I wonder whether there's going to be sufficient space and turning room for wheelchairs and mobility scooters to get in from the street. At the bottom of the ramp, there's going to be a very, very small space, and the gates open into the site itself. The cycle parking's on the left-hand side, and it doesn't seem to me that there is sufficient room to get cycles through the gate and past the proposed ramp.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I was just going to say, would you like us to put that query into the comments? It's not something I can really tell from the plan whether it would work or not, but
Yeah, thank you. It just looked at it and wondered really, especially as the gates currently, I can see, yeah. So yeah, just to raise it really, because I think the cycle parking's recently gone in and we wouldn't want it to be inadvertently inaccessible, but I'm sure that when that would have been considered, but I wish to raise it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So are we happy to go with no objection with the comments made? Yeah. Okay, fabulous. Right, so now we're on to amended plans. So our first one is PL 2024-06987. And this is the approval of reserved matters at Rawlings Farm, and we have officers' comments.
thank you, Chair. So councillors will recall objecting to this application when they last saw it on the 7th of April. And I think all we'd want to say here is no further comments. And for procedural correctness and to avoid public confusion, it's recommended that the application be withdrawn until such time as the Section 73 application, also on this list, has been determined. So I think the objection would still stand.
Thank you. So we go to Councillor Murray first.
Yeah, I completely agree with those comments.
Okay, so any other comments? Are we happy with objection? Okay, carried or objected. And the next amended one is PL 2024-09507. And that is the approval of reserved matters again this is another one's at Rawlings. So we go to officers' comment.
Thank you, Chair. Same comment again, just a different change of date. Our previous comments were 15th of November 2024. Thanks.
Councillor Murray.
Yeah, agreed.
Any other comments? All agreed objection? Yep, okay, objection. One more. Okay, so we have PL 2025-02116, and that is a removal and valuation of conditions at Rawlings Farm again. And we have officers' comments.
Thank you, Chair. So the Town Council again objected to this application on the 4th of April 2025, and the advice would be to object again. In terms of the amended land use and access parameters plan, I think we'd welcome the inclusion of a shared use path off the National Cycle Route 403 onto the secondary street in the southwest corner of the site. However, this should be in addition to any footpath or shared use path that could be included immediately beside the river going underneath the Black Bridge, which would be the most logical and direct route for active travel to follow the River Avon corridor, connecting the River Avon open space to the south of the bridge to the proposed Rawlings Green Country Park to the north of the bridge. As per the Town Council's comments of 7th of April in relation to PL 2024-06987, it would be interested to explore options for the adoption of the proposed country park, linking this underneath Black Bridge to the River Avon open space, which it already manages. This strategic opportunity to provide an active travel route and green corridor along the River Avon under public ownership would be of great benefit to the town. So those are the comments with the advice still to object. Thank you.
Councillor Murray.
Yeah, I think we continue to object. I'm okay with those comments, but the main point is that removing the local centre and creating the need for more people to drive up and down, in addition to the traffic that's already been created, and moving away from what was committed in the Outland application is completely unacceptable. So until that is resolved, there's no way forward really, as far as I can see.
Okay, any other comments? No, are we happy to go with objection then? All in favour? Yeah, lovely job, okay. Okay, so we go on to the next one, which is PL 20260157, and that is for planning permission for St Paul's House in Marshfield Road, and that is Hardens and Centrals, and we have officers' comments.
Thank you, Chair. So there's a revised heritage statement submitted with these amended plans, which I think we'd welcome. However, its findings are queried, particularly in relation to the conclusion that there would be no harm to Chippenham Conservation Area as a result of the proposed development. The statement fails to acknowledge the starting point in the Chippenham Conservation Area character appraisal of the building being a building of poor townscape merit and a negative landmark. There can be no doubt that increasing the height of this building would make it more visible in views, heightening its visual juxtaposition with the scale and architecture of the Victorian townscape. Yet to what degree it would impact on the individual positive and negative views identified in the appraisal has not been assessed. As per the Town Council's comments of 7th of April 2026, photo montage visuals should be submitted to demonstrate how the resulting building would appear in both close-up and long-distance views along Marshfield Road, on exiting the Brunel Arches, from New Road and from St Paul Street, comparing this to the existing situation. Only then can a proper assessment be made of the impact that a taller building, plus changes in rooftop materials and design, would have on these important views in the conservation area. As noted in the Town Council's comments of 7th of April 2026, the design of the proposed rooftop extension as currently proposed is considered to be bulky, dominant and utilitarian. It is requested that further comments from Wiltshire Council's Conservation Officer and from the Urban Design Officer are sought. With the design of the proposed rooftop extension remaining unchanged and uncertainty about the impact the proposal would have on important views identified in the Chippenham Conservation Area, the proposal would remain contrary to CP58, the core strategy, Chippenham Neighbourhood Plan Policy TC4, the Chippenham Conservation Area Character Appraisal and the MPPF. Therefore, the concerns are reiterated also about lack of parking provision being contrary to CP 60, 61 and 64 of the Wiltshire Core Strategy, and the advice would be to object to this one. Thank you.
Thank you. So we go to Councillor Rutledge first. Could you turn your microphone on, please?
Thank you, Chair. Yes, there are a lot of issues about putting another layer on the top of this. It's already a difficult building in the position it is, and we could do without. So I object to. I agree with the officer's comments.
Thank you. Any other comments? No? Are we happy to object? Yeah, all happy? Right, good. Object. Okay. And on to tree applications. So we have one tree application, which is PL 2026030603, and that is a consent under tree preservation order, and that is Capon Park and Hunter's Moon. So we have officers' comments first.
Thank you, Chair. So this is for 75 Queen's Crescent, Chippenham. 40% canopy reduction and rebalance of a lime tree. This is a large mature tree located at the junction of Queen's Crescent and Sarum Road. The tree is visible from the adjacent highway and footpath, and amenity value is likely to be high. The vitality of the trees appears to be normal. The application states that the canopy is to be reduced by 40% and rebalanced. The justification given is due to historic dieback and larger branches and two of the main leader branches towards the house and driveway, and is presumably as a result of safety concerns. Although there are some small patches where the density of the foliage is slightly reduced, the applicant has provided no evidence to justify a 40% canopy reduction, and therefore the comments for the tree officer are to object. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, so we'll go to councillor Massey and councillor Bragg.
I'm happy to go along with Matt's suggestion.
Thank you, councillor Bragg.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with those tree officer comments. Until something's provided, then I think objection.
Okay, any other comments? No, okay, so we go with objection. All agreed? Good. Okay, so then we go on to part 2, which is to consider whether requests be made to the Wiltshire Council Ward member to call in any of the attached planning applications for consideration by the Northern Area Planning Committee. Are there any planning applications that we would like to put forward? No? Okay. Part 3, to note the appeal against the refusal of planning application PL 2026-00302, householder planning permission for 7 Sadler's Mead, Chippenham. This is the revisions for approval application PL 2025-05574 to add a single dormer window to the front slope of rendering the existing construction stone walls with a copy attached. And then we go to part 4, which is to note the appeal dismissal of planning application PL 2026-00549 household planning permission for 43 Oak Road, Chippenham, and that's for the 2-storey side extension, demolish garage and increase parking area with copies attached. Any comments or questions? No? Okay. Okay, so the next items are to note clarification purposes only. Okay, so delegated decision, to note the decision made under the delegated authority made by the Chief Executive as set out in Standing Orders Section 11 regarding a consultation response for a road closure for the RBL parade, copy attached. Then we go on to, any questions? No? Perfect. Then we go on to item 8, which is temporary street closures and traffic management. To note the following: temporary closure of St Mary's Place on the 13th of July 2026 between the hours of 9:30 and 15:30 with copies attached. So we then go to item 9, which is items for communication, to consider any items for communication from this meeting to the public. Do we have any items for communication to residents? No? Okay. Second part is to consider any questions or actions from this meeting to refer to the Youth Council for their opinion and response. Nope. Okay. Which leads me on to item 10. Date of the next meeting is which will take place on Thursday, the 16th of July 2026 at 7 p.m. And Councillor Punt. At 7 p.m. I declare the meeting.
Just wanted to say, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to see y'all on the 16th of July because I will be in Tennessee representing my charity.